Surprise! Yeah. You too? Holy shit. So I'm in the middle of freaking out over the Han Solo trailer. As you all know, I'm a huge Star Wars fanatic. My head was like already exploded, and then they took the little particles of explosion and blew all those up with this news. I'm sitting there just freaking out, and then someone's like, I see a little post and I'm like, wait, what? Nothing. I've never seen anything like this before. The closest thing I can say to this is the Cloverfield 2 announcement in January of 2016, and the movie was being released in March, and we didn't even know anything about it. That was like wait, what? A Cloverfield movie is happening? A sequel? What the hell? It's called 10 Cloverfield Lane? What is this? And then, 2 months later, it comes out, and the announcement that The Woods was actually Blair Witch, and it was coming out in like a month. Those are the only two things in recent memory that are even close to this, but this is just like the craziest announcement to me. And it distracted me from something that I didn't think I could get distracted from. I immediately, I went back here, but I was like dropping all plans. I had other plans tonight to watch other movies to talk about them, but are you kidding me? The Cloverfield paradox, which we knew as the God particle for a while, and now I guess it's just the Cloverfield paradox, which fits this film. So does the God particle. They both could go for this, but you want to get the Cloverfield title in there for people to know what the hell it is instantly. Now, people who are looking for a quick yay or nay on this film, I think that if you liked the last entry, you will at least be more accepting of this film. I know that a lot of people had an issue with 10 Cloverfield Lane being too disconnected from the events of the first film, as in that there wasn't the Godzilla-type monsters, the mist-type creatures within the film, and the majority of it took place in a central location, and we never really got to see... I guess this is kind of spoilery for the second one, but we don't really get to see the monsters till the end. And so with this one, we have a kind of a similar thing going on in this, as to where this is taking a place away from. This takes place in a space station away from. But this does explain some of the questions we have had asked in the previous installments, especially the first one. So you do get some questions answered, not all of them, but we do get some answers, and I like that. Now, getting into the good about this movie, the acting is really, really good from pretty much everybody. We got a strong cast here of familiar faces with Daniel Bruhl and David Oyelowo, I think is how you say his name, Martin Luther King Jr. from Selma, Chris O'Dowd, who's usually a comedic presence, and a newcomer, and I'm going to try to pronounce her name here, Gugu Mbatha-Raw. I think that's it. I don't know if the Gugu part, but G-U, I don't know how else he would say that. She is fantastic in this movie. I very much look forward to her future work because she was fabulous. She conveyed such emotion, and her character really needed it to bring that emotional punch to the film for you to feel the weight of everything going on. So absolute kudos to this newcomer that I don't know. She may be a big star for all I know. I've never seen her before to my knowledge. She's not a name I recognize, and I think I would recognize a name like that. This movie was produced by J.J. Abrams, as we all know, but it was also produced by Matt Reeves, the director of the last two Planet of the Apes movies, the upcoming Batman movie. Matt Reeves is freaking awesome. So the fact that he had any involvement in this, said something to its credit right there. The space station in this movie, because that's where 90% of this movie takes place, looks awesome. The design of it, all that, I really enjoyed. And there's a lot of, anytime you have these kind of these space films, these science fiction films, you want to see some cool new gadgets and tech. And there is some, but it also plays within the realm of reality in their new tech. So it's not overdone where you're like like, oh wow, that's too science fiction-y, that's too out there, because this takes place around our time, and so these have to be not that advanced past what we're able to do now in order for us to just buy it. So it's cool to always see new tech, new gadgets, new stuff like that, but keep it grounded in some bit of reality since it's so close in a time period like this. Now, I think that, you know, one of the issues, some of the issues I should say that I have with this. Number one, Chris O'Dowd is the comedic relief. And for one, honestly, I don't feel like this film really needed it. I would have been fine with a straight, serious film because the subject matter is pretty heavy and there's lots of tension, and the humor feels very inorganic when it happens, and it doesn't really land. I never laughed once. None of the humor worked for me, and I think almost all of it comes from Chris O'Dowd's character. And that's not knocking him as an actor or as a comedian or as a comedic presence within films. I just feel like the situation didn't call for it, and he wasn't able to deliver it to that scene. That's my personal opinion. Obviously, maybe other people will find the scenes in which he's trying to be funny, but I just personally didn't, and it kind of took me out of the moment for, you know, a second or two, and then I kind of pushed myself back in. There's also logical, you know, these like moments where you have to suspend disbelief a little too much, where you start to question. And I think with science fiction films like this, because this film really draws a lot of inspiration from films like Alien or a more recent film like Life or Interstellar. They definitely, and a lot of space films, science fiction films like this do borrow from, you know, films that had come before them. But I think that what another problem that people may have with this film is that we've seen a majority of this film before. There isn't a ton of new, interesting things going on here. Not to say there isn't any. There are moments within the film that you're like, whoa, what the hell? What the hell's going on? And those are very intriguing, and they kind of come out of nowhere, and then, you know, you're sitting there like, whoa, I want to know what's going to happen next. And it's an exciting thing. Now, as far as the payoff goes, I feel that the ending, while it makes sense to the film, there are some questionable character decisions, and I don't know if they're reflective of certain events set up throughout the film, but those are the characters' decisions, and you basically just have to accept them for what they are. And I was able to step away from some of my preconceived notions from earlier events in the film and be like, okay, that's what they did. Yeah, the ending, it was fine. It was good, I guess. And I just was really hoping for a kick-ass ending. And I just felt like the third act didn't fall apart, but just was a little lackluster, a little underwhelming for what I had hoped. But that might be my own fault for wanting too much. But overall, I had a good time with this film. Science fiction fans of, you know, movies like as the aforementioned films that I said, I think this is worth a look. If you're a fan of the franchise before this, definitely check it out. There's no ratings of this. I might be the first freaking review on YouTube. This movie dropped 2 hours ago, so it is, no one has, only a few people have seen it at this point. So I don't even know what the general consensus is at all. I am very much looking forward to that, and I will be looking at my comments below. So, definitely let me know what you guys think. So we'll see. All right, guys.